The views and opinions expressed on the Damned Podcast do not necessarily represent the official policy or positions of any agency or business. Now let's start the show.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Bob Podcast. I'm your host, David MD.
I should leave that in.
I have to talk like this. Everybody knows now.
Just plug your nose. Oh, man. All right, here we go. Hey, welcome to the Bomb Podcast. I'm your host, David MD. If you're not familiar with the Pomcast, I'm just going to say Pomcast from now on.
Pomcast. Hey.
I talk to local talent around the Colorado Springs area about bombing at life, bombing at love, and bombing on stage. I believe you are the first 3-time returning champ. Give it up for Leslie Fox.
Oh, thank you. I'd like to thank all of the people that I had to step on to get here.
All the people I had to throw under the bus to bring up my bombs. You were telling me before we got started, you literally had to call somebody and be like, hey, I'm going on a Pomcast talking about bombs.
I don't try to do people like that. Because we all make mistakes, but some are funnier than others. So I want to make sure you're okay with me sharing our experience together.
I had the wife and I think we had a kiss. I was still in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Met Teeth for the first time. I laughed my ass off because I know this is eventually going to get on stage.
Yeah. But never mind. I want to be pleasantly surprised when I hear about this story because I'm envisioning like a crack in it.
No, it was getting too hot and heavy. You're like, ah! Because your first thing is, to pull away, but then I just started laughing hysterically, which has to suck because I didn't even think about being the significant other of a comedian that oh shit, is this going to be on stage eventually?
You might as well assume it's going to be.
Yeah. And then sign off a waiver when things can't go on stage, so. But yes, we're here to talk about bombs today. And do you want to talk about the phone call first, or do you want to talk about the bomb at Lulu's?
Oh, Lulu's is older, so I do Lulu's first.
Okay.
Lulu's was my most vivid, oh fuck. It wasn't a lot of people, but because it wasn't a lot of people, Megan, Karen, and Susan, right at me when I was saying this. And I was formulating my child support joke.
Okay.
And I was trying to do my 2-bit and brown eye joke. And so I say, I like men with names with potential. But I took too long to get to the potential. I just more whined about it. And then I was 2-bit and brown eye. And then I did my child support joke. And she was like, you just need to love yourself more. And I was like, you too, dear.
Things that shouldn't be said at open mics for 300.
And I tried to come back from it, but I did not do well. I did not get anybody to laugh. And I know what I did, but it was just it hurt a little bit more that it was Megan that had to make me confront my demons. But it was fine.
That fucking sucks.
There was one of those ones that you get off stage and you just leave.
Yeah. Get off stage oh well, pick up my stuff. See you guys tomorrow. So for me, because you're talking about an intimate bomb, you said you had 3 people at a specific table.
Mm-hmm.
That's why when it comes to open mics, if it's less than, I'd say, a dozen people, I do get into that because the judgment's not general anymore. It's from Megan. It's from this person. It's very specific.
And you can tell with their eyes because they're like.
I was telling George last week the body language that you see either in, because I video all my stuff.
Yeah.
Either you catch it in person when you're on there, which is bad. Yeah. And then it's really bad when you see it on your video too. I had somebody in the front row after they didn't like a joke keep their arms crossed the entire time.
Oh no.
Once I saw that, I think I did a bomb. I bombed a show in Colorado Springs. And I saw somebody in real time cross their arms. I'm like, cool, you don't like it.
I see you. Okay.
Oh man, it's once you know the signs of a bomb, like them like crossing their arms, you're like, oh, I'm
You're
completely
like-
in my fucking head now. Thank you.
I haven't gotten this, but I think it is the most patronizing. Aww.
Yeah.
Ooh, like you could have just not said anything. You had to grunt.
Yeah.
You had to grunt like that. Okay.
Which do you think is worse though, that or the obviously fake laugh?
I don't mind a little sarcasm, so the obvious fake laugh to me I would understand. They don't think that's funny. The it's just rude. Like it's just that's to get a rise out of you. Like the fake laugh is still being sarcastic, but I don't know why.
Well, no,
I find like that's more digestible. Like when Brian goes like when he doesn't think something's funny, I don't want to punch him in the face. I know for a fact that's not funny.
Okay.
But when somebody's like, then I'm like, you're just being a bitch. Like, I don't like that.
Yeah. But what I'm talking about is the laugh that if you weren't a comedian, you wouldn't know. Yeah, those
yeah.
cut hard.
Yeah, because they're like laughing to be polite. Like, I feel
Yeah.
like it's socially acceptable to
Like,
laugh.
You know, it would just be so much better if you just stayed quiet.
Or when they come up to you afterwards and they're like, you did really good when you didn't. And you're like, I know I didn't do really good. You're trying to make me feel better about myself.
I'll call out Luke on this one. I did a threes 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
and it just didn't feel like anything went over. And I go sit back at my table. He's like, "Good set." And I'm like, "Really?" I watched back. I was like, "Oh, that was either sarcastic or he's a really good person for saying that because it fucking sucked." Oh my god.
Oh, but you know. Well-intended lies are fine.
How about this date that you had to call and get permission to share?
So, this gentleman I think he's very cute, but he's a very, very masculine looking man. He's very tall, okay? He's over 6 foot. He's a very brawny looking man. I met him doing comedy, and he asked me out on a date. He cried on our first date. And it wasn't like he was just like, oh, I'm just gonna sob now. You know, he was very open with me, and the liquor got the best of him, so he got very open with me.
Boy.
But like, I do that to people though. Like I'm just like just talk to me, and then you just tell me all the things that you don't want to tell me, and I'm like, oh, thank you very. So, like I've done that to people before, where like the first time they talk to me about something super big, they just cry, but it was just I reminded I was like, I just want you to know, like I have hella compassion, so I like really I understand where you're coming from, but like no, you don't cry on your first date.
No.
You don't do that. You keep that to yourself. You keep those on the inside. And then, okay, third date, is it okay to cry?
I don't know.
I say context matters.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what to, like, I just listened. So I heard what he said and I understood what he was saying. But he's just a big, imposing man, right? Is like, and not only he's a black man, so like for that to happen at that time, I was like, oh, okay. And then I laughed because like it was fine,
You
but
laughed
it was
at him,
but it was
or?
like it was just like the worst time to cry. Like, not on the first date. Like, you're trying to ruse, I guess, yes, you're trying to ruse her, but you're also trying to, like, say, I'm a good match, right? Like, I am the person that is a good match for you. And usually when people cry, the first time you do that, you're like, oh.
He's in connection with his emotions.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't mind that. But I mean, I guess it wasn't a bomb for a date for me specifically. But like, maybe if I didn't like him, I probably would have just laughed at him. Because I didn't know what to do, because I was like, okay, but like I understood, like I was listening to him, so I was not drunk. Like I I understood what he was saying, and I understood where it was coming from. But the other part of my brain was just like, I don't think he understands how weird this is. Like, I don't think he knows.
The juxtaposition of, like, I think your first bomb or your first damned thing, because you're talking about working at a call center.
Yeah.
You're known for just, like, not bullshitting around.
Yeah.
That had to have been interesting trying to get that personality with, like, you know, a compassionate personality. You don't want to be laughing at that guy's face, but...
No, but not too long later, he said something to me. And I did laugh, like, all the way in his face. And I said verbatim, that is the dumbest thing I have ever heard in my life. And that, like, and that's when it all came. And he was like, oh, and I was like, I could have said that, like, so much nicer. I'm so sorry.
So he had no fairy tales in his head when that date was over.
Apparently not. No,
Whoa. Jesus. Whoever you are, I'm sorry. You should have watched the first, I think it was The Bomb. Is it either The Bomb or obviously he's one of the two.
Why are you leaking? I mean, that could have been
why?
that.
That's what it was. Yep. Why are you leaking? Why are you bringing such
What's going on?
things? That kind of reminds me, because you were talking about trying to put your best foot forward. One of my very first dates outside of high school, I was trying to over-impress this chick. We went to the county fair. I know
you're spending big bucks.
Yeah, buddy. But I was trying to get her. I feel so fucking embarrassed talking about this. I was trying to get her, like, you know, a fucking prize. Like, you know, either pop the balloons or fucking shoot something, all that stuff.
Asserting dominance that you can provide with carnival gifts. Bam, bam.
Hey, girl, I got that overpriced alien fucking thing.
What? I got that from the ring toss.
I had to have blown $30 or $40 on this, and like every dollar that's going in, this chick's just like, this guy's a loser. This guy's a loser. It got to the point where I was physically like frustrated, and she had to talk me down. I was like, you know, you don't have to do this. God damn. Oh, this is so fucking embarrassing.
I think that happens to men a lot, though, and then women are like, it's really not that big of a deal, I promise. And you're like, but it is to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will ruin this date in order to save this date.
I will burn this entire thing down. Okay.
It was so fucking bad, though. Because I was still a virgin at that point. So I had that virgin energy, nervous energy.
Oh, yeah.
And then trying to, God damn.
Well, failing in public is not fun because that's a tangible fail.
Yeah.
There's no escaping that. There's no interpretation.
But when you're doing that in order to impress an attractive member of the opposite sex that you have the hots for, it just makes it a million times worse. And so we were texting. It could have been texts. We were communicating back and forth, either through email or something. That tells you how fucking old this fucking story is. 2005, 2006. That communication ended as soon as she got out of the car. She had no interest in me afterwards. It's like, if I just had the tension out of my shoulders, lost my virginity first, that probably would have been a much smoother date. But dude, it was so fucking bad.
Oh.
Yeah, that's really. Oh.
Air hug teenage MD. There we go.
So bad. I think that was the only date I had. Yeah, only date I had before I got into my current career.
Really?
And then everything else was the eHarmony. Like, we got to unpack that. I was wanting to unpack that during the Damned, but we got too far ahead of us.
I know. Sometimes.
But because we have a knack of talking way too much when the camera's off and all that stuff. But one of the things we did talk about while we were off air was your haircuts.
Yeah.
I know, because here, the first thing I'll say about your haircuts before we jump into this is you look like a completely different person. Because I hadn't seen you since the last time you recorded here, which I can't even fucking remember now. But I saw you 2 or 3 weeks ago walk into 3E's, and like I'm focused on Mike, who's like doing the writer's session. I look over, I'm like, oh, some new chick. And you come across behind me, sit down in that one that's closest to like the bathrooms, and I was like, oh, okay. There's this new chick here. It's kind of weird. And then I look over, and like I think you looked over, like, you know how when you're familiar with somebody, you want to give them like a wave or some shit. You looked over, I was like, I think I know this person. I was like, oh shit, that's Fox with straight hair. Completely threw me off because I'm so used to
What's his name? Oh my god, David G. Oh, I don't know.
What was
I'll
that?
remember his name. Anyway, another one of the comedians, he says that every time he sees me, I look like a completely different person. because he's seen me dressed up, and then he's seen me like basically in my pajamas, and my hair is so curly, and then the next time it was in braids. And then, like, every single time.
You're a kaleidoscope of. So the thing is, I remember when I first started on the scene, early 2020, before COVID took everything. I think you were in the pajama phase of it, where you just had the hair.
Yeah.
You just wore whatever the hell you fell out of bed with. I'm like, okay. And that's where I came up with the assumption, the wrong assumption, that you're not an easy person to talk to. And then it turns out it's completely opposite.
Yeah. Well, and it's weird, but I do that on purpose because I do go by myself into places a lot, but I'll arrive by myself, but I choose to be where I know, at least I know people. So if something happened, they would know, or we would help me intervene, whatever.
Yeah.
I take care of other people. I try to be around like company. But I do know that I look extremely unapproachable, and I try to do that really hard because I don't look like I'm easy to talk to.
Yeah.
And then if after I talk to you for a little bit, I'd be friendly. But if I don't like the conversation, then I'm like, don't talk to me. Or I'll just walk away from you.
Yeah.
Just done.
And you're wearing the clothes that say that, so they're not really shocked.
I'm like, oh yeah, don't talk to her. There's Kenzie Stray said, she was like, my friend Kenzie, we friended on Snapchat. We met at a club, friend on Snapchat, and she's like, I thought you were going to be a bitch when I first met you. You had this leather jacket on, you had like a black t-shirt and Chuck's on, and you had red lipstick, and you were just, you weren't grimacing, you just had like the most
Don't fuck with me
natural
look.
resting bitch face I've ever seen in my life. And then when you did open your mouth, you yelled at somebody, and then when you talked to me, you were super sweet, but you yelled at him again, and then you were super sweet. She's like, I didn't know what to do.
What's your initial reaction when you hear that, though? It's like, I thought you were a raging bitch. Like, oh, thanks. That really helps my self-esteem.
Like, no, that's okay. No, because I do, like, a lot. And I think I get that because I used to work with guys, and I've got 5 brothers, so I communicate in a way that's very cut and dry. Like that's more of a male style. Like women talk like this all the time, but when it comes out of a small petite woman, they're like, what the fuck? I'm like, I really didn't say anything that special, but
You're so lucky that you're able to do so much with just your hair alone. And that my wardrobe is it's literally t-shirts and jeans. Every so often I'll throw a colorful sweatshirt on, you're good. But like, to completely change someone's conception of your demeanor across the room, like I said, kaleidoscope. Like, 'cause there's some days you show up and like, all right, cool. Like, this is a chick that wants to talk. And there are times like, whoa, I'm gonna stay clear of her.
she might suck my soul and not even have to touch me. What the fuck?
Yeah, because the first time I saw you in person, over at Gold Camp at the time, you were at a table with like 2 other people, and like the aura of that guy was like, okay, she's only gonna talk to those 2 people, and she's going to mean mug the fuck out of anybody that comes up and like small talks, which is hilarious because like now that I know you, it's like, no, that's not at all. But that kind of juxtaposes against the conversation I was saying is like, you know, you've made poor decisions in your love life. And if any other person would be like, okay, there's a sign of stupid somewhere that connects that, is you're just a person of 1,000 faces. I have no idea. Like,
I try to keep it on the low.
Mysterious.
You know? Yes, I'm a secret spy. That's my hobby. I'm just kidding.
So what are we talking about on the haircut here? I know we
so like I know how to take care of my hair. I grew up here in Colorado, and when I tell you that growing up there were 3 black families in my entire town, there were 3 black families, and that was us included.
And none of them cut hair.
None.
Shit.
So bad. And like my sister, she would cut my hair, but like she is super talented. But I don't know what would happen, but she would start talking, and then all of a sudden my hair would be uneven. And so I was getting frustrated. My hair was getting really long, and I didn't know how to take care of it because it's really curly.
Yeah.
Like it is. I call it the beast.
It looks like a brush would not go through there without breaking
But that's
off.
what's crazy. It's so soft. Like I could run my fingers straight through it, but it's just so big.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that I wasn't supposed to take care of it a certain way. So it was just dry and nasty. And my dad was like, okay, well, we're going to cut your hair short. And I was like, well, is it going to like look all weird? And he was like, no. And he was like, no, it's not going to look weird at all. Like, all you have to do is you'll just have to do this in the morning and your hair will be done. And of course I'm like 8, so I'm stupid and I believe him and I'm like, okay. So I let her cut my hair like straight, like to the nape of my neck.
Damn.
And so I looked like a Black Annie for such a long time. Like it wasn't even an afro because it was too long to be an afro because I don't have those, like they're taut curls but they're not super tight.
Okay.
So they just like, once the end of the day is, they just long strings of like uncurled everywhere. So I look like fucking Medusa all of the time, right? And I'm like, I'm in 4th grade, so all of the kids are super nice, right? So they're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Yeah. Like there's not another single black kid, let alone like there's one girl with curly hair and her hair's cute curly. It is not like mine. So I look like I've been electrocuted and I'm trying to walk around not being embarrassed and I'm just like, I fucking hate you. So like every time I look at my dad, I'm like, huh? Oh yeah, I can just do this and that's fine. Like I didn't know how to braid my stuff, so like I couldn't have like braided it back and made it cute. I didn't know how to do anything.
Ooh, speaking of braided back, you know how much bitchier you would look if you had cornrows in?
Dude, I do. I do.
That chick's gonna shank you after she gets off stage.
When I do the 2, when I wear the 2 and it comes down, like it looks like I'm ready to fight, and I'm not. I'm not. I promise, I'm not trying to. But when I put my hair in the two cornrows, like it looks like I'm trying to find this bitch because she cussed my friend out and she about to pay.
Oh my god. That maybe some Timbs.
Yeah. I had docs then, so I look like a bead, right? And then of course, like that was when like they had the super flare jeans, so like they covered my whole shoe, so you didn't know what kind of shoe I had on. Yeah. So I was like, I'll get you. Like and the funny part is too, like I didn't even really realize that these aggression habits were like hood habits that I just had, but I didn't know that I was still inside of me because I was taken out of the hood. So I thought I'd know, but I was like, nope. I got my boots on. I got my hair braided. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna get you.
Oh my god! I should only imagine how to. Can you do that for Halloween? What's Halloween this year? Fuck. Is it a weekend?
I hope so.
So by the time Halloween comes around, I want to throw a party in here with all the comedians that have been on. It's going to be a Tuesday. Or, no, last day of November. October. Ooh, it's on Sunday. There we go.
Oh, well, yeah, because no wonder we didn't remember it was on a Saturday because COVID last year.
Dude, that was like the perfect fucking time, too.
Wasn't
it a full moon, too? Yeah. Like, all the stars aligned for it to be the most badass Halloween ever.
Mm-hmm. And then
I put that mask on, too. That fucking plague mask is over here.
Plague doctor. Oh, my goodness.
That's the was it the cool FM radio with the sunglasses?
Hey, I'm Plague Doctor in the morning. Fucking.
I love plague doctors, but I like creepy things. So
yeah, let's say I want half of this to be like my high school like life, and then I want the other half to be kind of creepy. But
I'm about it. Let me know if
the
you
problem is
find any creepy things. I may or may not know where to find the creepy things.
The problem is I bring in people that don't know me. Like Luso. I'd never talked to Luso before she came on here. And she walked in, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm creeping this chick. I got a satanic flag up. I know she was a Mormon at one point. I got a plague doctor here. I'm like, how creeped is this chick about to run like 5 minutes into the bomb? Like,
well, Lou, after this, tell me, did you want to run? Let me know. Just tell me. You get slide in my DMs. You got my number. Text me. Tell me.
And by the way, Lou, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I need to get these numbers out. So our next bomb here is a traffic ticket. You got pulled over before getting here. I don't know if you want to get into that. But.
Yeah, I did. Well, so the DMV is just super backed up, and I've been pulled over a couple of times because they're supposed to have the 30-day extension, but like they don't see that I have that paper like taped to the back of the car.
Okay.
So because I did that, so you don't pull me over, so you can see that paper.
You're supposed to have that paper past the 30. So I thought it was the grace period was just with the stickers.
Well, with COVID right now, because everything's taking so long, some of the registration stickers aren't getting sent out within the 30 days. So
okay.
so you have to go on the website and you have to prove that you paid, and then they give you this piece of paper, and it's just a verification paper, and it says how much you paid for your registration and when you paid for it, right? So it's basically the same thing as your tag, and it says it's a temporary tag until you get your stickers.
Okay.
And it's in the back of my window, but my windows are tinted. So I've been pulled over a couple of times because of that. And this particular one, I don't know if he was mad he was working on Saturday. But he was just very...
Was this inside Falcon, Peyton, or...
Yeah, it was more Falcon.
Uh-huh.
And like, cause I was only about like 15 minutes away. That's why I said I'll be there in 10 minutes. Like I drove like a quarter mile when I got pulled over. And I have my red card. I have my med card. So like I wasn't smoking weed, but I have it, and it's not a lot. It was just a little bit. And he was like, "So what are you doing?" I was like, "I'm not doing that. You can smell that." Like, okay, I clearly just cleaned this car. But he was like, then he started asking me, well, do you have any other names? And I was like, oh, here we go. Because I'm adopted. And there's only been 2 cops I've ever interacted with that found my birth name and were like, and so I'd explain like, no, my legal name is on my driver's license. Like, it's on my registration. Like, it's fine.
How cool is it your adopted name is so fucking easy? Imagine being adopted like an asshole like me, where your name's 18 letters fucking long. Like,
yeah. No. My mom's last name is Zinser, so I could have gotten Zinser instead of Fox.
It almost sounds like Zimzer, like the gender neutral pronouns. Zimzer in 2020.
She might as well. But no, like my brother Brent took her last name as his middle name, so he's got Zinser Fox, but.
So lucky.
Like,
and then you got a badass logo. Might as well bring that up right now. Like, yeah, bam.
Hello, lovely.
Like there you go. So they were going through your name and everything.
Yeah. And it wasn't that bad. He was just doing his job, but it was just annoying, because he had a demeanor like I had done something wrong, even though I had not done something wrong already. Like, I had my registration there. Like, you could see that the sticker was there, and he's like, well, why don't you have your stickers yet? Because they're not here. Well, why aren't they here? Because they're not here. Like, what do you mean? Why? Like, because they're not here. Like, do you think I would keep this just taped on the back if I had the stickers? Like,
yeah.
Okay, this is impeding my vision. Like, okay. But it's, I just would say, like, make sure that you understand what you did, what you have on you, and don't do stuff to get yourself in trouble. Right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that. I think everybody's scared of each other right now.
Mm.
And so I think that's why he was just like, well, why are you breaking the rules? 'Cause that's what they see.
Isn't
like,
that what caused the army officer to get pulled over?
Yeah.
In Virginia, was his registration was in the back window, but it was tinted.
Yeah.
Lucky you didn't catch pepper spray, because that hair will not let pepper
No, oh
spray
my gosh,
go.
you'll be stuck in there forever. No tomato juice in the world can get that out.
3 weeks later, you're still coughing. Like,
right? No.
God damn.
No, but he was nice, but it's just
Hell of a bomb.
yeah. I don't think anybody likes interacting with an authority figure, especially when you've done nothing wrong. And
especially when they're asking like prodding questions.
Yeah,
too, like,
and well, don't. It's like you trip. It's like trying to trip you up. Like, well, that's not who you said you were. And it's like, that's happened here before too, where they said like, oh, well, we see your last name's Ponce, and you said it was Fox, and it was like, yeah, but I also know someone who's gotten a felony because the police misheard that person's name.
Wow.
So I was a little nervous, but once he saw that I had actually done everything, like, it wasn't a problem. But it was irritating that it had to be a problem, even though it wasn't.
Now that you're talking about multiple names, I'm starting to wonder if I should change, because I'm changing mine from the legal horseshit that I have right now to just MD. I'm like, granted, when they fill out because when I got my traffic ticket earlier this year, I was like, man, this traffic ticket's taking for fucking, or this traffic stop is taking forever. And I'm like, oh, maybe they're busy at the thing. Maybe I'm not getting a ticket. No, that motherfucker was spelling out 18 fucking letters to give me that ticket. So at least it'd be a faster ticket if I have just MD.
Yeah, because that's a very long last name. I'm going to ask you what it is afterwards.
Yeah. I fucking hate my name.
Hey, me too. High five, yay!
Yeah. COVID high five to the glass. Cannot wait until... Are you planning on getting your COVID shots?
I want to. I mean, I'm on the list, but
because what I'm planning on is the CDC is saying if you're hanging out with another vaccinated person, you don't have to take. So I could fucking throw this fucking plexiglass out the window.
Do that.
For just us.
It still doesn't make me feel safe because I do go out.
Yeah.
And I'm safe and I wash my hands and I try to be as considerate as possible.
I have not had a cold this year.
Again.
Yeah. I fucking love the masks.
But I don't. It doesn't make me feel any more secure, and I think that's what bothers me the most. But we're all gonna make our own personal decisions about it. I'm gonna make mine for my family, just like most people. But I don't know. It seems like a weird thing to clear.
Okay.
When,
what do you mean?
Because it's temporary, right? So
yeah, we're now finding that out.
Yeah, so like you take the shield off, right? And since you've got yours before me, and we don't dose at the exact same time, and then you get little sniffles, and now mine's wearing off right now. I've got your sniffles, and we find out it's Rona. What the fuck did we just do? We did the exact same thing that we were trying to prevent, but we thought it was fine because we had do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like I would be much more confident with it if it was
longer than 6 months.
Yeah,
I think is what they said. 6
that makes
fucking
me super
months.
uncomfortable.
After 9/11, because we're all worried about like anthrax and all that stuff, they found out that smallpox vaccine actually wears off.
Really?
Yeah. What a great time to find that out. Post 9/11 when we're fucking freaked out with everything.
Right. Like.
Yeah, smallpox is good for 10 years.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool. So, when they do the next attack, all of us are fucked. That's really good to know. I'm excited to receive my mail now.
Well, to the best of my knowledge, smallpox is all but eradicated from the earth. Yeah. So
that would be awesome.
Good to go.
But humans are humans, and I guarantee you there's a vial of smallpox because somebody's stupid.
Mm-hmm. The Koreans or the Iranians probably have it. Speaking of protecting yourself, you have a sex bomb that we're...
I do. So it was okay. Again, I don't know how, like it's just smooth. It was smooth, like we acted like it didn't happen. I'm not a booty sex kind of lady. That's not my thing. I'm not not my thing. I don't like the feeling that I'm about to shit and no relief happen. Do you know? Like it is not.
Well, another person is right there.
Right. Like no.
There's one thing of having the urge to shit. It's also having someone in between your legs with that urge.
No, I don't enjoy that. But usually my sexual partners know that. Pretty cool with it. They're fine with it. Whatever. But me and the gentleman I was sleeping with were just going a little faster than we usually do, I guess, and we got a little excited, and like when he pulled out, he like almost went, and like I just kind of like I just laid there, and I was like, oh no. And he didn't say anything. He stopped, and then we kept going, and it was fine. But that hasn't happened in like 5 years. God. Where like anywhere near that, like I was so afraid. I was like, oh my god, this is gonna happen, this is about to happen, I don't want this to happen. I freaked out. But like we both knew it was fucked up, because like he looked at me and like he fucking knew, and I looked at him and I fucking knew, but we just didn't say anything, because like what do you say to that? Like, let's not ruin the rest of the thing. But we're like, oh my god. It just moved right along.
I hate in the moment having sex and then seeing that moment, but as a comedian looking back on stuff like that, because you're like gone, and then all of a sudden you stop. You're worried that you've like permanently injured the woman. You're like, you good? I'm a good person. We could stop right now.
Or like, what's the worst too is when you do that and then you bend, right? And
I have never had that.
Oh
but
my
good
God!
that sounds like it hurts.
I'm like, we've killed you. You have no dick anymore. You have snapped it in half. I am so sorry. Oh, you're fine. It's okay.
You know, you can actually tear the ligament that holds it up.
I believe it. That's
Yeah. It apparently makes it pop when it goes to yeah.
Oh my God! Oh! That's awful!
Yeah. The things you learn listening to your mom's house podcast.
Well, now I'm gonna have to walk up to some of my friends and be like,
yeah,
you know what
I think
that
that's the
is?
sound of it. Exactly.
That's your dick breaking.
Oi. I've heard a couple random sex. I think one of the worst sex bombs I've heard so far has been ferret. But yeah, that would instantly be in the Hall of Fame. Somebody talk about breaking their dick on the bomb. Yeah.
I don't have one, but it hurts. I'm like,
I have a phantom dick that hurts right now.
I'm getting phantom pains right now. Oh, I demand restitution.
It sounds like it'd be so painful that you'd want to puke, which would tie into our next bomb of puking. I try to be sexy with these transitions.
Oh yeah,
They're so mechanical.
just smooth. The last time I'm not a big drinker. Like I can do about 3 like hard liquor drinks.
What's your drink of choice?
I like Patron, but I also I usually would do a Washington apple. A Washington apple is crown apple, cranberry juice, and sometimes peach schnapps, depending on how they make it.
Okay.
And it's just really sweet and yummy. I don't like seltzer water, but
Sam drinks that shit all the fucking time.
Dude, it's I don't like carbonation, so you're just like, and it just doesn't.
The carbonation I like if I have if I were to do like a Kool-Aid or something like that, I hate that it's flat. But if you put a little sparkle in there, ooh wee. But no, for me that water, it tastes different. It has like a flatter taste. Well, it's kind of weird. It's got carbonation, but it has like a more muted taste. I guess would be more accurate thing. But.
No, I understand. Because it doesn't taste like the Sam's Club.
If it was regular water with carbonation, I would be cool.
Right.
But I don't know what the fuck.
I don't know if they put vodka in it, but I don't know. Like it's a weird in between, but it's super bubbly, and I don't like bubbly. But it's happening. It's happening. So I went to a show with one of the comedians who's out here, and we were all going to go to another club called Tropical Vibes and go to a party, and it was being hosted by one of our friends. It's awesome. I had done my 3 at Looney's, and then I was going to ride with her to go to this club. And so when we were in the car before the 3 drinks, she drank 3 Trulies. I drank 1.
Okay.
But then when we got into the second car the second time, for some reason I felt like I could drink. And so
blow for blow, huh?
I did. I had already been pretty drunk, so by the time I got there, I was like. So
your first 3
drunk.
Were what? First 3 drinks.
My first 3 were Looney shots.
Looney shots.
Yeah,
okay.
and they're just like a Washington apple, a bit better.
Okay, so that's that. Okay.
Yeah,
and then you get to the next club.
Yeah, so now I've had about 2 Trulies, 3 shots, and now by the time I get to the club, I've had 6 Trulies and 3 shots.
Okay.
And I don't drink very much at all. So then I go to the bar and they're like, let's get a shot of tequila. And my dumbass is like,
yes.
Okay, I like tequila. And I took a shot and I danced for maybe 15 seconds.
Damn.
And I was like, I think I need to go to the bathroom. I went to the bathroom and this dude, he stops me in the middle of the hallway and he's like, I'm going to get your number tonight, girl. And I remember what he said, but I was so drunk that his face was like starting to do that thing. And so I was like, I'm going to puke now. I don't know if you're the reason why I want to puke now or not, but I've looked at you too long, so now you're the reason why I want to puke. And puked for a little bit. I was okay. Came back out. My dumbass was like, "Let me smoke a J, because that makes sense." And as soon as I did, like, I hit that thing twice. And somebody was talking to me, and I was like, "I am so sorry, dear. You were just going to have to wait." And I opened the door, and I just puked everywhere. And I sat up. I was like, "I'm okay." And I did it like 3 or 4 more times.
I'm okay.
And then finally I went to the bathroom, and by that time I wasn't blackout drunk, but I was so drunk I didn't really, like, I didn't know what was going on. Like, it was just very happening. Like, I knew where I needed to go still. I still.
Are you
knew what I needed to
time
do.
traveling at this point?
Kind of, yeah.
I love tequila with that. You
Yeah.
know, like, I only need to see every 3rd second to know what's happening
Right,
tonight.
I know what's going on. And so I went to the bathroom, and I guess I just, like, I was just dizzy, and I had the spins, and I wasn't puking anymore, but I was well aware of how I looked, right? Because I'm cognizant enough to know, like, Leslie, you're not usually this drunk, so you're kind of acting weird. But I'm drunk enough to be like, who cares? So I'm just sitting on the floor in the bathroom, and I didn't realize that like 25 minutes had passed, and so my friends are looking for me, and they're like, "Okay, well, you gotta go. Like, come on, let's go." And so I look at my friend Nikki, and I'm like, "This isn't just drunk. This is more than drunk." And I was very serious. Like, I was dead serious. I was just super drunk, but I was like, "No, this is more than drunk." And so Brady took me home. It was fine, but I will never try to drink that much again. I could, like, all
right, so you said 3 at Looney's.
Yeah.
Was it 4 more at the next joint?
Yeah, it was like, no, it was just, so it was like 4 shots, 3 of Crown Apple and 1 of tequila, and then 6 Trulies.
So you're up to 11 measures of alcohol?
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah, and I'm like, no. But then after that, like, I puked every time I drank after that, for at least like the first, like, at least the next like 3 times I drank, to the point where I was like, I'm just not going to drink anymore. But of course my tolerance just built up, so that's a lie, but it's fine.
If you want to enjoy tequila properly, don't shoot it. Get the top shelf and sip it, and you'll love it.
But I just want to drink it. I don't.
Well, all right. So we haven't announced this yet, but there's possibly going to be a 3rd podcast record on Saturdays. Maybe near the end of that, I'm not going to be drinking fucking tequila at 9 o'clock in the morning. Although I will try. Maybe near the end of that, we'll get into the afternoon. Well, we can't really get into the afternoon because it's going to be a shorter podcast. So I don't know. Maybe when I throw that
put some
comedy
orange
party,
juice in it, and we'll call it a fancy screwdriver, just without the vodka.
I'm not mixing Don Julio. You should apologize.
I won't for the sake of the podcast, so you can drink in the morning. I stand by what I
Morning drinking with David MD and Leslie Boggs. I like that idea. Let's do a 4th podcast.
Morning drinking, let's go. Let's do it.
Morning drinking. Oh my god, that'd be fucking awesome. You were talking about, in that story, though, disappearing for 25 minutes. My wife and I will not mention whose wedding we went to, but we went to a resort in Cancun, and I was getting pretty good. I was drinking Blue Hawaiians. I don't even know what the fuck is in them. I think there's what's the coconut alcohol, fucking
Malibu rum?
Yeah, Malibu rum in there. I think there's some tequila and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I was literally drinking 1 an hour the entire time I was awake.
Yeah.
Okay, I felt great. Picked up speed a little bit once night fell, and then I was like, well, the people that we were with, they had a huge room where you could literally leave the front door, walk under the fucking room, and then go into the back.
Okay.
The room it was a really nice resort. The room had too many people, and so I was like, fuck it, I don't want to wade through here drunk. I will leave the front door, and I'll show up on the back door.
Yeah.
Well, I get down to the bottom of the stairs of the front door, and I got distracted and started shooting conversation for like 10, 15 minutes. I'm like, fuck it. I'm done with this party anyway. So I go under the tunnel, and then this is right on like the edge of like where the beach front's at. It's like, fuck it. I'm going to go watch the stars on the beach here.
Okay.
So I lose sense of time. I stayed conscious the entire time. I like literally laid like in the sand. I actually still to this day have sand in my comedy notebook from this. But I get back into the room and my wife is freaking the ever-loving fuck out. Because apparently it had been, I thought it was like 45 minutes. I think it was closer to like 90.
Oh,
and
shit.
yeah, and apparently in Mexico, if like you disappear, like you're instantly raped or something like that. So they're all thinking the worst shit possible. Like I was literally 50 feet away from this room the entire fucking time.
He was like, no, but you were almost kidnapped and you almost died.
Yeah,
you were almost sex trafficked, David.
Yeah. Those redheads are a high premium in Mexico. I wouldn't put up much of a fight. But yeah, I was literally on the property of the room, but they were just like freaking out. So I was like, you guys didn't try calling or texting or any of that stuff?
Right.
Moving on.
We thought we would feel your chakra. And we would know you were close by.
There is somebody in that wedding that believes in chakras too. So,
yes.
Yeah, we won't go too far into that. But speaking, well, no, I don't know how to transition this one. But apparently you've been caught having sex. So
yeah,
let's just throw that hot potato over.
Yeah. So when I was with my ex, like again, like we weren't married, but we operated like one, you know. And when you're with somebody for a long time and you do the family stuff, like get freaky is not always the easiest thing to do. So we would try like an hour or so after my daughter had gone to sleep, and because when she's out, she doesn't usually get up. So we were pretty confident, but we still were trying to be discreet. We're
swinging from the chandeliers and shit.
We wish. I'm just kidding. We were kind of like, we're trying to do like, I call it the parent fuck, because you know, like you're spooning and you're doing it from the side and you're trying to be like quiet, because if the bed moves too much, they're gonna know you're awake, so you have to be quiet and like you're good. And so we got a little carried away because we like each other, you know, and that's what happens when you like each other, is you get a little excited. So we got kind of excited, and then the next thing I feel is a tiny hand on my leg.
Fuck.
And I was like, and I just elbowed him like 3 good times. I was like, no! And then I was like, what do you need? And she's like, she couldn't sleep, so I just put her back to bed and it was fine. But then afterwards, like, we just laid there.
Traumatized.
And, yeah. And like, you know, like, in my experience, the man always wants to try again before the woman does. So he was...
It's not going to go down by itself.
It's still here. And so he was like, so do we try this again? And I was like, no, we don't try this again. And I said, first of all, not just because she might still be awake, but like, do you understand? I just like elbowed you 3 good times to get away from me. And we were just doing something where I was clearly not fighting. And all of a sudden I just get away from, like, no, I'm going to need to process those emotions before we fuck again.
Jesus Christ. Wow.
But, you know,
I got complex quick.
It usually does. Rabbit hole.
So what, do you go to the bathroom and relieve the tension?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
With or without you, I'm going to take care of this. Apparently you have a comment on an itchy asshole.
Oh, yeah. So the itchiest asshole is hands down, like, after you have a baby. I'm just saying. You push your whole human out, you're going to have some hemorrhoids, you know, and get an itchy asshole. So I hope your dude thinks that's cute.
Well, at least we hope that your dude still kisses you, which ties us into the next kiss.
Yes. Worst kiss I've ever had. Okay. The worst kisses are the ones when like spit is like transferred into the mouth. There should be under no circumstances that you have like a pool of spit on the tip of your tongue
Hell
and it goes in
no.
the other person's mouth. But yeah, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
So you had a repeat offender, or
Yeah.
that's fucking gross.
Yeah, and like so I've never been cool with like just the spit swapping. That's just gross to me. So but like making out, I understand. I just like I don't understand when they start doing weird things with their tongue.
Uh-huh.
Do you know what I mean? So I was making out this dude, and like I've had like somebody like grab my tongue with their mouth, and that's fine. Like that didn't bother me. But like he like sucked on my tongue so hard that the back of my tongue hurt.
Ow.
And so I was like trying to get my tongue back from him, and like I couldn't because he was still sucking on my tongue. And so by the time the kiss was over, I was like, I don't ever want to do that again.
Did you give him the Vince deal and slap him around a little bit?
I wish. No, I just said I don't think we need to do that again.
What's that? The making out.
Like,
I don't need you to.
Well, I was like, what was that? And he was like, did you like it? And I was like, can positively say that I don't, but please don't.
Was it Vince Deal mugshot? So Vince Deal, the guy that used to do the ShamWow shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got bit on the mouth by the hooker that he was dealing with.
Oh, that's what you get.
And ended up doing this to her. So,
Oh my.
yeah, kind of heavy. Yeah, you could have lumped up your boy like that.
Yeah, I mean, oh my.
That's, I don't know why that brought, well, I know why I brought up this mouth, stuff, and starts swinging
I guess
away.
I could have blackened his eye, I suppose.
Give him a nice shiner.
But I think what I would have preferred to do is just do that to him really fast, so that way he would have understood how badly that hurt, because he was like ripping my tongue out slowly by sucking on it.
You got the fucking kiss tongue after that?
Yes, I was like, oh my god, my tongue hurts so much. This is stupid. Why? He was like, did you like that? No. Like, if you would have done that for a long enough period of time, my tongue literally would have been ripped out of my mouth. Okay, I just want you to understand that.
You take that suction power south of the border, young man.
Right? And you better behave better than that if you want suckage in the south of the border, because that's not a good way to do that. That's a great way for teeth to accidentally get there.
Woo!
I wouldn't do that, but still, I would think about it really, really hard to assert dominance.
Ow. Oi, oi, oi. Well, speaking of below the belt stuff, apparently you pissed yourself.
I did, and I was grown. Like, it was not too long ago.
Was that your first bomb?
No.
Because what I do like about having you on here is you're a constant source of bombs here, yeah?
Well, I like mistakes. I mean, I learn from my mistakes, but I don't take them too seriously. Like, I don't take them to heart.
Yeah.
And I think that the things that I do are funny too. I used to get really embarrassed. And I fought who I was for so long, but I'm just an awkward person. I know I'm an awkward person.
And that's what I like. There was a time in my comedic career where my personal life, I wouldn't laugh anything off. Mm-hmm. And then when I started making material out of my personal life, I was like, God, this fucking sucks, but it's gonna be great material.
Right.
And really, I'll do that within 30 seconds of like life kicking me in the balls. I'm like, this is gonna be great.
Right.
Which I'm sure is like some form of like tamping down emotions, but.
Well, and what I'm learning too is like, we're talking about keeping the emotion.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be mad about a lot of things, but the things that hurt me the most are the things that make me the most angry. Mm-hmm. And so when I deliver those jokes, I let myself be that upset for just a minute. But now I'm learning the placement of letting myself get that upset, but I would not have been able to do that if I wasn't so mad at what was happening at the time. Because that's really what made it funny, was I was mad, or I said something foolish because I didn't understand or I didn't get it. And it just always came out of silliness, came out of the anger or the confusion. So I feel less now that like once I say it's gone now I'm just like, how do I reignite it in that place?
Yeah. I actually brought that up in the writer's session. They're like, you basically have to act. Yeah. Because I framed the question, like a comedian and I, we're talking about the therapeutic level of writing down what frustrates you to save it for the stage. But in doing that, you released some of the tension in doing that. Mm-hmm. He's just like, yeah, sometimes you got to get up there and act. I'm like, But you also have theater experience, though, right?
Yeah.
So that'd be a little
Yeah.
easier for you than it would be for me.
Kind of, but for some reason, like when I turn that muscle off, I can't turn it back on.
Really?
It's so hard. Like I'm getting better at it, and I'm practicing and I'm doing exercises and stuff. But like when I turn that muscle off, it's been really hard. Like I've spent this entire time doing it. Like once I figured that out at like when I was at a year, I was like, that's what's missing. And I've spent the last year like trying to pull it out because I can't. Sometimes I'm just like, eh.
My active shooter bit I've changed for the shit that happened up in Denver, but I bring the energy down very reflecting on mortality and stuff. I can do that really easily, especially a lot of my material. My material's like from a dark personal place,
right?
But like to get the energy up to be angry, like I don't have that in my wheelhouse. I got to go to like an acting class and like figure that the fuck out. But.
Yeah, that is good. That's good. YouTube is good for that because they have those exercises where you can breathe differently or you can amp yourself up like that. And that's what I've been doing before I go on stage is I've literally been jumping up and down.
Oh, nice.
Because you've seen me get frustrated, and that's exactly what I do. Is I bend my legs all weird, and I'm like bending up and down, and I'm moving my arms, and you can see that like my body is feeling the upset.
Okay.
But that's half of what is so funny about it is I'm telling you that I'm embarrassed. I'm squatting in the middle of the grocery store because I just don't like it.
Wow. Speaking of squatting, we're still trying to talk about pissing your
pants.
Yeah.
So I came back from a show, and I am spacey. I lock my keys in my car sober. I did it 3 times last month. 4 times last month. Last month. What I don't have the automatic thingy, so when I open my door, I lock it and I get out. It's muscle memory at this point. I try to make sure I have my keys, but sometimes I just get out and I lock the door and I don't think about it. And I did that, but I left my house key as well. So I was like trying to find my key, and then my phone died, so I couldn't call.
So literally everything that would cause an adult a panic attack, like losing your keys, losing your house keys. Did you leave your wallet in there too?
Yeah, my
wallet was
in the car.
Fuck, man.
So I'm like frantically knocking at at my daughter's grandma's house, like trying to get her to open the door because I have to pee so bad. I'm looking around me to make sure that nobody's there, and eventually, like, she doesn't answer. So I just fall in front of her door in defeat because I'm like, I know what's about to happen and I can't win. I am like I'm sitting on the ground, like knocking on the door, like I know what's about to happen. I know what's about to happen. And then she opens the door, and as soon as she opens the door, I stand up, and it's over. So
muscle.
like, I try not to like push this lovely old lady out of the way, but I pretty much do. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I just go to the bathroom, and I just sit there with my hands on my elbows on my thighs,
just
like,
wet thigh.
I'm like, oh my god, I like. It was one of those moments where, like, I was so mad that I did the stupid thing, and it's something that I do sometimes, but it was never more frustrating in my life because I was like, out of all the times that this could happen, I'm really happy it happened at 2:30 in the morning because nobody saw me.
Yeah. 2:30 in the morning. Good God. Like on a weekday?
No, this was on a this was on a Thursday. It was after one of the You Look Likes. And
those guys go late as fuck, huh?
There's sometimes an after party, but I had gone to the after thing, and then me and Kenzie started talking, and I'm telling you, when I start talking, it doesn't matter who I am with. We always I choose to have people who have great conversation with, and we talked for like 2 hours.
Yeah,
in my
because
car.
we're supposed to be recording for what 2 or 3 hours. We're at 3:15 now. Your story actually reminded me of this. Where are we at here? There we go.
Mom, open the door.
Yep, that was me.
Yep.
Hey, was that doppelganger? Yep, that's what I did. Okay, pause real quick.
Sure, here we go.
Acknowledge the fact that he is pacing up and down like so, because you knock on windows sometimes if you have to, just in case. Okay.
Also notice that he's parked in the yard.
He is parked in the yard. Holy shit, that's how bad he has to pee. He can't even go to the driveway.
Mom! I'm pooping on myself.
Oh no! Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay.
I'm sorry, dude.
You got to be kidding me.
Not on my Betilias, or whatever the fuck those are called. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Did she have a flower bed that you could
No. No. It just looked like a good sized dog had peed in front of her house.
Why didn't you get a Great Dane? Like,
Right? And be like, blame. Well, and that's not something you can blame on your kid either. I mean, she's 7, so she pees a lot, but that was not. That was like a drunk's pee. Okay, you know how like when they're like, you have to pee like a racehorse because you're drunk. You know that it was that amount. There was no hiding it, unless there was a man that was there to be like, look at this strange man peeing in front of your house.
let's look at the shitty thing about y'all's anatomy is like. There's no confusion when you guys are doing your thing. Mm-hmm. It's like for a guy, I'd just go to a dark like shadow of like the house or whatever, and just pee. I don't know why my pee just farted, but yeah, y'all when it sits down like, all right, she's either checking like you're either shitting, pissing, or like checking your phone in a squat position.
Right.
There's no. I feel bad, so bad for y'all. But we need to get you out the door here so we're not ruining Saturdays for you.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, I got snow on my fucking weather thing, too. Dear Colorado, be summer now. So.
I would just like it to be spring. Like real spring, because I don't dig getting smacked in the face with the desert heat either.
Yeah.
But
hopefully we don't have moths this year, because that was fucking bonkers.
Yes,
last
they'll
year.
come after you.
Oi.
I mean, I got a death moth on today, so.
Oh, nice.
So don't talk about my family like that, okay?
Motherfucker. Alrighty, well, it was good seeing you. I believe you're the first 3-time bomb person. Yep. George is the first 3-time damned. So there we go. We will talk more offline about a possible third podcast. Yeah, let's all look at the ooh. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, we'll get that and be good to go. Well, guys, have fun. That was the bomb for this week. I don't know how to wrap these up anymore. So. Bye.